The U.S. military, meanwhile, is caught in a raging controversy right now over Bibles that were burned. Some Christian groups are furious that Americans were involved in what they consider to be an unthinkable act in the midst of a war against religious extremism in Afghanistan. What is going on? We asked our Brian Todd to dig into this story and take a closer look. What is going on, Brian?
Well, Wolf, this speaks to the very delicate and dangerous balance that U.S. commanders face in war zones. Books that are holy to the majority of U.S. servicemen burned in the name of protecting them. Bibles written in Pashto and Dari, the two most common Afghan languages. Bibles sent by a church to a U.S. soldier in Afghanistan. Bibles that were later burned by the U.S. government. These holy books were confiscated about a year ago at Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. An independent film aired by the Al Jazeera network had shown evangelical soldiers worshiping at Bagram and talking about ways to share their faith. But military rules forbid troops of any religion from proselytizing while in Afghanistan. And U.S. officials were concerned that the Bibles would be used to try to convert Afghans to Christianity. A U.S. military spokesman tells CNN that kind of religious outreach could have provoked a violent backlash against Americans in this devoutly Muslim nation. But in trying not to offend the Muslim population there, the military seems to have offended some Christians. The president of a Christian group called Open Doors USA quoted as saying, "It really should shake the core of every Christian to realize that Bibles are being burned." A military analyst who's also a Pentagon advisor agrees.
There's no need to burn the Bibles. They could have been shipped back. Just imagine if we were to, the same United States military were to take a bunch of Quran and burn them. I can imagine the ramifications across the world.
Why couldn't those Bibles have been shipped back? Well, a military spokesman tells us they worried that the church that had sent them would then turn around and send them to another organization in Afghanistan, giving the impression that they had been distributed by the U.S. government. So the decision was made to throw the Bibles away, and in war zones, U.S. troops are required to burn their trash. A U.S. military spokesman says they understand the sensitivities of Christians. They say this was not an easy decision, but they had to do this for force protection, Wolf.
Is there any indication, Brian, that these Bibles or any of these Bibles were actually circulated among the local population?
No, a Pentagon official tells us they have no evidence that these Bibles made it off the base. The soldier who had gotten them didn't know that he was not supposed to hand them out. He was quickly corrected by a chaplain there who confiscated the Bibles. As far as they know, they never made it out of Bagram.
Brian Todd, thanks very much.